the NDC, the chairperson of the party, Johnson Asiru Nketia, has described the NDC's policies going into the 2024 election as superior to that of the governing party. Johnson Asiru Nketia explaining why every Ghanaian must buy into the party's proposed 24-hour economy, says that the party will put the country at par with its counterparts, as well as boost industries, which will in turn transform the economy. He was speaking in a yet-to-be-aired interview on PM Personality Profile.
Our opponents are just blowing hot air because that policy appears to have taken them by storm, and so their reaction suggests that they are this. This is not a complicated policy to adopt or implement at all. See, industries in Europe and many other places operate 24 hours.
Sure.
And we are operating 8 hours. And we are supposed to produce things and compete with somebody who is utilizing his infrastructure, everything, for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So there is, from the beginning, a disconnect that makes us uncompetitive. If we just look at the surface like that, you understand? So what we are saying is that there is already some infrastructure that is being underutilized or badly utilized. Let's take our energy infrastructure, for instance. You see that Ghana is one place where you have so much variance between low period of energy consumption and peak period of energy consumption within any day. There are times when there is peak period. Let's, for the purpose of argument, take maybe a scale of 0 to 100. There are times you see that energy consumption in some parts of the day may come to 10%. There are other times, peak periods, when you see that the energy consumption has shot up to 90%. So that variation exists in how we consume our electricity. Now, if you get into another economy where they are running 24-hour shift, you see that this variation has been evened out. So instead of maybe varying from 10% to 90%, you have a variation of around 50%. So it may come down to 40, it may go down to 60.
Yep.
And then that is how the electricity will be consumed. Now take these two scenarios and see how much it costs to fix the infrastructure for electricity distribution. You want 24-hour supply of electricity. So you don't want a scenario where during the peak period there is overload and your system will shut down.
Shut down, yeah.
Okay. So in laying the infrastructure, you must lay it in such a way that it can capture the peak period and you will still have no problems. So from that standpoint alone, if you are able, as a matter of policy, to encourage some of the consumers to offload their consumption during peak period to the low period of 10, and you are able to push that one up, you bring down the peak numbers, and then you better have better advantages, better utilization of your facility. So if you are implementing 24-hour economy and some of the huge energy consumers like the steel mills that use a lot of electricity. You encourage them to be the cement factories and other things. You encourage them to be working during the off-peak periods.
Yeah.
Then they will utilize more of the energy which otherwise you will not be utilizing. So it makes good sense to even reduce the tariffs for them, because it inures to the benefits of the whole economy. It inures to the benefits of the power sector and so on. So by giving them cheap power, which could have gone waste anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
You are introducing efficiency into the utilization of your energy resources and so on.
And be sure to catch a full conversation with General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiru Nketia, when that interview airs on PM Personality Profile later this week. But for now, rusty roofing sheets protecting an already wobbly wooden structure with eroded cement bricks on the sides is the simplest description one can give, of course, to that situation of Christ the Answer RC Basic School at Mepe in the North North District. With the shortage of teachers, effective learning has been adversely impacted in a number of flooding schooling communities actually in the areas. Clinton Yeboah visited the community and has come through with this report.
The structure is worn out, weathered and hangs loosely, but accommodates not less than 60 pupils in the school all the years gone by. The classrooms are crafted from standing wood, walled with plain concrete blocks serving as a mini wall. Classes come to an abrupt close when the clouds gather.
If the rain will come to the schoolroom, we don't have sitting place, so the madam will close us, then we go.
The school is located in the Mepe traditional area. The town looks relaxing with its colorful culture and people, but the quality of education in the area is diminishing. Christ the Answer RC Primary School is one of the few schools in the enclave.
Recognizing the insufficiency of educational facilities and educational personnel in these communities. Since 2014, that is 9 years down the lane, the situation here has been the same, no improvements.
Their predicaments come on the blind side of an abandoned classroom block.
This is the structure reported to be the new school block to replace the old dilapidated one. However, according to the assembly member, the structure, which is at 70% completion, has been left in weeds since 2020.
Pitias Agbemo Nomenyo is the assembly member.
And we are hoping that as the contractor was on site, and what he told us, this project will have finished earlier for students to move into the classrooms. But as at now, you can see that the project is at roofing level. So all efforts for the project to be completed are proved futile. And as at now, you can see, even at the classrooms, when the school started, we had students about 200. But because of lack of infrastructure, most of them have left the school, and parents take the students out of the school. So the few ones over here. As an assembly member, anytime we go to assembly meetings or sometimes I engage the DC on it, and he always assure me he will come to site and then work. But lately I learned the contractor said he's not coming back to site because he has not been paid. So he used his money to build the structure till now. So as he has not been paid, he's not coming back to site to continue the work.
33-year-old Patience Nyamiche is the only teacher handling all the classes, from kindergarten to primary 6 since 2015. With no remuneration, Patience is motivated by the smiles of her pupils to persevere in teaching.
But we are two. The person that is my headmaster has passed away, and I'm here alone without any assistance. But I know that if I'm here,
the student will become somebody in future. So I'm just doing the work that payments. But we are going to a lot of challenges. Sometimes you come to the school, how the environment is, it's difficult that you teach the children. But I put myself down so that the children will become somebody in future like me. So it's like no helping, no assistance, anything. So sometimes I find it difficult to come to the school. And sometimes like I just give everything to God. That one day, I also will become somebody.
Her situation represents just a visible part of a much larger problem, the shortage of teachers in the township.
Here at Open Heavens Grace Academy, the children are excited to learn, but their classrooms become noisy and full because there are no teachers. And the few teachers here trying to engage the students have to teach as many subjects as possible.
The number of teachers is not commensurate with the workload at the school, impeding their ability to cover the entire syllabus.
I teach all the subjects. Sometimes, as a human being, it's not all the subjects that you can be good in it. But because of lack of teachers, that you must force and go around, search for the rest, and make sure you teach them. Because the children cannot be in the camp that teaching the rest of the subjects. So sometimes before you finish, you make tired.
The shortage of teachers has become more pronounced as Dagome LA Basic School shuts down after 25 years of being deprived of teachers.
Where we are standing used to be a JHS block where people have actually completed, but now the school has been closed down due to the lack of teachers. So we became worried and tried but did not get an encouraging outcome.
To fill the void left, the situation is seemingly being alleviated through the benevolence of volunteers and temporary teachers.
Builders Foundation, our main aim is to supply teachers to help augment the challenges within the school and within the community. That is the basic reason why I was brought in. I've been here since May 3rd. I'm in charge of the ICT aspect for the lower primary. Because of the limitations, some of the children have low absorption rate.
Residents are appealing for a better condition.
So we are appealing with government. Now, as they know, the future of every ward depends on school. So when you go to school, you have no future. So we are appealing with them to come to the aid of the community and then help them finish the infrastructure so that students can move in quickly to improve their education.
We would be very happy if we could get help from the government or any NGO, because this school academically they are doing well, but because of all these pertinent issues, the academic work for my assessment is going down, because you don't have teachers in the school for maybe 2 years and sometimes a term. Then those teachers leave the school and the new teacher comes. It doesn't help. Educationally, it doesn't help.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yabua.